So my name is Rob Cook and this is the new S-Works Road shoe. First thing I want to talk about here is the new outsole. We've used FEA testing to actually work out where the load is taken in the outsole, and we've further tuned to reduce weight down the outside of the foot and increase the structure down the inside. So this is the main thing, is to improve stiffness and reduce weight. The next thing is really important for us is how the outsole is put together. We glue the heel counter, the padlock heel counter and the carbon together before we add it to the rest of the shoe. What's super important here is that means that the distance, it's hard to hold, the distance between the back of the heel here and the cleat pocket, the cleat bolts, is always consistent. These two pieces go together in only one way, and it's instantly, you can check it on every shoe, that here is completely on the same level, and then you know that the distance between the back of the heel and the cleat bolts is always the same on these shoes. Consistency is critical, especially for our professional riders, where millimeters make a huge difference. Whereas most shoes, you'll see the upper is glued to the outsole, and there you can be 2 millimeters forward or backwards, and then obviously that affects where the cleat is in relation to the to your foot, which is especially for riders who are changing shoes a lot, and they want the consistency and they want the trust with the product, so super important for us. The next thing is what we've done is we've still got our padlock heel counter, which is a sprung piece, which gives a really good kind of heel lock on the shoe. But what we've done here is we've increased the padding around the back of the heel just to improve the level of comfort. We know that the last shoe, when people tried it on, it felt for some a little bit aggressive, the fit. And what we've done here is we've actually maintained the heel hold, but we've improved the comfort level through the amount of foam that we're using in the back of the shoe. Again, the same in the tongue here, we've added an extra layer just to increase the comfort level, the perceived comfort when people try the shoe on and go for a ride in it. The next thing that's super important is our Dyneema material. We're the only people to use Dyneema in the shoe. It's probably easier to see in this swatch here. The white material is our Dyneema material, and Dyneema is a really high quality nylon thread. And what this is it stops stretch within the shoe. So we position it in the areas of the shoe around the midfoot and in the heel, and that really creates a lockdown feel of material that doesn't adapt and doesn't stretch. But what we've done this time is we've woven the Dyneema yarn. Instead of on the previous shoe, on the S-Works 6, we glued this together between 2 layers of film, and what that did was create a little bit of stiffness in the shoe that we wanted to remove. So what we've done, the white material you can see in the part here, they're almost like the net that you can see is the Dyneema yarn woven into a net, and then that's brought into the shoe. And what that means is that we can keep the upper really, really soft and really supple, and that just improves comfort. The softer the materials are that we wrap around the foot, the less pressure points we get, and the better comfort. And to be supportive, you don't need to be stiff. You just need to have non-stretch. Making sense so far? Next thing I want to talk about is the closure of the shoe. We've worked with Boa, our partner, in developing a totally new dial system here. This is proprietary to us, and what that is it's a complete metal system now. In the past, we used nylon injected parts in almost like a free hop body kind of arrangement. So a ring with teeth on the inside and pins that went in as you turned, it clicked and held its position. But what happened over time was that the durability wasn't where we wanted it to be. And what we've done now is completely changed the system that's in there. It's completely metal-based system, so the durability means that the sound will stay over time, but also the holding power of the system. What it is a spring clutch system where we have a metal post where a spring is wound around it with 2 ends, and then when you press the ends in one direction, the coil relaxes and releases, allowing you to turn it, but when it's held in the other position, then it's self-tightening. So the whole metal piece, the whole mechanism inside the dial now is metal. One thing that I didn't mention earlier as well is that the dials themselves are metal. So these are black. You'll be able to see on the Bora team shoes we have silver, and these are actually metal caps. And the reason we changed to metal is because of the way that the riders, when they're in races, in hot races, they get wet hands, slippy hands. And when you have a rubber dial, it's sometimes hard to get purchase on the dial to turn it. So what we've done here is we have a knurled surface. It's a kind of a hard knurled surface which cuts through things like sweat and sun cream when riders are trying to tighten the shoes and prevent slipping. So when people go into a sprinting situation at the end of a race, it's been a hot race and they've got wet hands, they can still tighten down the dials and get the maximum connection to the bike that they want. And this system is still exchangeable, so it's a cartridge system, so it's a couple of seconds to change the dial. So if you have a crash, the durability isn't an issue now, but if you have a crash, then if one of these gets broken, it's very easy to replace, and it doesn't mean that you're replacing the whole shoe. The next thing we've got here is the guides. These two injected parts on the top of the shoe. What we wanted to do there is we've reduced the size of those parts. But more importantly, we've made the back of the inside of the shoe completely smooth, which is really important, because if you imagine in this area of the shoe where some riders tighten their shoes really, really tight, we want no kind of protrusions or things sticking out onto the inside of the foot, because that over time can obviously cause a pressure point and cause discomfort. So now we've got a completely smooth flush system on the back, which is obviously the comfort level is fantastic.